hopefully this will be the last time I have to flush this out, so I'm flushing it out for a second time. And I decided to go ahead and take the thermostat out in the housing. And I did find a little bit of stuff in there still, a little bit of rust and some stop leaks. I cleaned all that out. And I've got the assembly tube unhooked. And of course, you know, there's the old antifreeze that was in it. And there's not too much left in it, but I know that heater core still has a little bit of sediment still in it because it gets really hot at highway speed. And when you come up to a stop sign, when the engine idles, it's not quite as hot. It's pretty warm, but I still know there's some sediment in there. So I decided to go ahead and flush it out. So I got my 2 tubes here. This is going to be my inlet. And the top one on the upper side down there is actually going in. So what you want to do, you want to reverse flush. And that's what we're going to do today. And I got the bucket set up down here with the other tube, and we're going to see what comes out. And all I got to do is go turn the water on. So I know this is a little annoying, but it's the only thing you can do unless you want to rip the heater core out. So I'm going to flush it out, like I said, a second time. And the heater core isn't leaking, so it's worth trying to flush out. Now, if you flush it out and you still have pretty decent heat, you might be able to live with it. But if you're real obsessive, have OCD or something, you want it to be perfect, then you may have to take the heater core out and replace it. And there's guys online that has videos on how to replace this heater core. And if my car is unlocked, I will show you. It's basically what they do. This is just a quick version. They go in there and they pop this panel off. There's some screws here. There's some screws on the top of the dash, and there's a panel on the other side just like that. And there's a little bar under there, a piece about like that they use for the robotic arm to swing this dash in. If you cut that off with a little saw, and then you pull this dash back, then you're able to get in and get that heater core, and you can pull it straight out. But like I said, that's just a quick version. That's how they actually do it. But there are videos online that will show you how to do it. And God forbid, if I have to do that, I'll make a video, but I don't think I will. So I'm going to go ahead and hook the water hoses up here and flush this out. And what I'm going to do, after I flush it out real good, I'm going to put it back together. But I am not going to put the antifreeze back in it. I am going to do what the old timers used to do. I'm going to fill it up with water and put some detergent in it and drive it a few hours. And then I'm going to re-drain it and put the antifreeze back in it. But why I do that with the detergent and the water in it, I'm going to see if it makes a difference in that heater in there. But that's one way to also clean your engine out, because I've heard the old timers used to do that and it worked pretty good. So we'll go ahead and start flushing this out. We'll try to get that sediment out. Actually, you're not going to be able to see much on this side. By the way, if you watch my other 2 videos, if you haven't, it might be worth your time to go back and watch the other 2 on this Taurus. It's a lot easier to get in here and get those clamps with a pair of pliers to get this tube off. You don't really have to lay underneath of it. If you've got pretty strong hands and a smaller, these are the pliers I'm using. They're about 5 inches long. They're pretty big. If you can get a smaller set, it works great. You can get in here and you can get these 2 clamps off, that one there. And this lower one's a little hard to do, but I'll hold this up here. If you get your hand right here on the bottom, you can get, whoops, where is my, there it is, I'm sorry. There, you can get this bottom one right here with a pair of pliers on the bottom, just by leaning up in here and getting it. Of course, I have a stool, which is on the other side, that I stand on, and it works out pretty good. And you can slide this whole assembly out on this side. So I'm gonna blow this out too and put water through it, and we'll go ahead and flush this out, and we'll see what we get. All right, as you can see, I got the water on, and here's what we got so far. There's still some stuff in that heater core, so it's coming out of there slowly. You can see that in the bottom there. A little bit of rust and a little bit of stop leak. So I'll just keep flushing away here. I'm going to reverse the flow a few times until the flow is really good through that hose. I'm just taking my hand and holding it up here like this and letting it go in. They make an adapter you can buy for that, but I don't feel like going out today and getting one since I'm all so close. So I'll finish up here and give you the end result. All right, you can still see I got a little bit more out of there, so it's just about all out, and the flow is really good now. Going to those hoses, I should have set the camera up where you can actually watch it, but yeah, my grass is loving the water. So I want to do this probably one more time and hook everything back up. I might go ahead and stick a little detergent down in this hose and run that through that heater core one more time and check that out and see what happens. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. As you can see, it's flowing pretty good now and clean. So hopefully that'll take care of that issue. And like I said, I put a little bit of soap in there, and that really helped it too. I see some stuff in there floating around. So this should be, I should do it. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it back together, and we'll put water in it and a little bit of soap and just drive it, get it up to temperature, and see how that heater feels. Alright, I did one more flush, and you can see it looks pretty clean. Just some very, very fine stuff in there. So it looks like I'm done. I thought I'd do it one more time, and that should take care of it, so I'll start putting it together. And with all this water on the ground, if I was in California, I'd probably get thrown in jail. Luckily, I don't live west of the Great Divide, where the drought is out west, you know. But anyway, so I'm going to stick this together and put water in it. The detergent I'm using, by the way, was just a little bit of Gain stuck in there in that hose. And hopefully the heater should be back to normal, so we'll see how it goes. Let me go ahead and stick her back together. Alright, good news is right now, it seems to be okay. Got a little bit of soap in there, kind of flushing it out. You can see the bubbles. I'm going to let it run probably for another 5 minutes. Drain all that out and put antifreeze in it, but I can show you one thing. The temperature is right where it should be. And man, is that heater hot now. And it's idling too. That's what my goal was at this point. So flushing that heater core out a second time really helped. I mean, that thing is just blazing hot. That's great. That's what I wanted. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and drain out the water, the soapy water, and we'll put antifreeze in it. And there it's on cool. Feels pretty cool there. Go back to hot. And it is really smoking. It feels really good. So I'm happy about that. So I'll go ahead and drain that antifreeze out. And I mean, not the antifreeze, the soapy water and stuff. I'll drain that out. Then we'll put antifreeze back in. We'll take it out on the highway, and I'll give you an update. And hopefully, if you're having trouble with your Taurus, this will get you through the winter time. Well, get you ready for winter anyway. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be one last update. Awesome. All right, I thought I'd do one more thing before I put antifreeze back in it. I'm flushing it out really good. I'm leaving it running. I got this tube here unhooked, and it's pumping everything back through the engine. All the water, I'm pumping it out, and you can see I got all the soap just about out. And you know, I figured, what the heck, this wouldn't hurt if I give it a little bit of gas. See, one way to flush it out. I'll tell you one thing, that heater in there works great now. So I'm going to let this run just for a couple more minutes, and we'll close it up and put antifreeze in, and we'll take it for a spin. Alright, a little update. It's all back together, and let me tell you what, since that second flush, it's amazing. That heat is so hot, I can't hardly put my hands in front of the vents, and it's idling only at 1,000 RPMs. That really, really helps. I'm happy I did that. Now, you may have to do that to yours. If you don't seem like the first time you do it and it doesn't work very well, like I said, you may have to do it a second time. So just kind of take your time at it until you get it flushed out. But that has really made a big difference, and I'm glad, because I did not want to put a heater core in this. And it turns out it wasn't even the heater core was plugged up. So I think you can get most of it unplugged. Just do a good flush. You have to do it 2 times and put some soap in it. And I'll show you under the hood real quick. I got 2 quick tips for you. So let me get over here. Let me pull over up here. All right, let me go outside. Beautiful day. About 75 degrees, but in about a month from now, it'll probably be snowing and cold. Okay, 2 things. I think you can see my reservoir. I still have a little soap in there. Don't worry too much about it. You can take a cloth and probably just get it out, but it'll eventually go away. There's not much there. And the second thing is, back where your heater core is, let me shut the car off so you can hear me a little bit better. I can't believe how hot that heater is now. you have two hoses going into that heater core. The top one is the one that goes in the heater core, and the one on the bottom, which is right, let's see, I think you might be able to see it, I don't know, but it's right down below those two hoses. Put your hand on that hose down there. If you put your hand on the top one, it's really hot, and you put your hand on the bottom hose down there, there it is, I think it's right there, I think you can kind of see it. If you put your hand on that hose, it's not very hot, it's just kind of lukewarm. Well, your heater core is still plugged up. You may have to flush it out. Now, hopefully you won't have to replace it, but most people can flush it out and get that crap out of there. So I just want to pass that along to you guys, and I guess that'll be the end of the video. So if you have any questions or anything, I'll try to answer them. But if you're going to do this, also, you could probably get one of those little $20 infrared guns and kind of point it down. You can probably see if that bottom hose coming out of that radiator, the lower one, if it's as hot as the one going into it. That's really the key. But when I first flushed it out and it didn't work, I thought, I'm going to have to replace the heater cord. I thought, well, no, I'll just flush it out one more time. And that really did the trick. So there you go. One nice look at it. And that'll be the end of the video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully this will help somebody out. And this is the last time I don't have to, this will be the last time I have to work on the heater core and worry about heat. So I am good for now. And thanks for watching, everybody, and talk to you later.